The 8 words women can't forget once you say them. Mature dating advice. Psychology tricks. Have you ever noticed? Sometimes it's not the grand gestures that stay with a woman, but a few simple words spoken at the exact right moment. Words that quietly echo in her mind long after the conversation ends. Not because they sound impressive, not because they were practiced in front of a mirror, but because they land on the heart at the right time from the right man. As Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that is where the real power lies. At a mature stage in life, between 35 and 70, women no longer chase words that are flashy or empty. They've lived enough, felt enough, and seen enough to instantly recognize what is genuine and what is temporary. This is why your words matter more than ever. Not many words, not complicated lines, but words with weight, words with truth, words that come from a grounded, steady place inside you. Because when a man speaks from experience, from calm confidence, from emotional clarity, his words don't just pass through her ears. They settle deeper. They stay. Here are 8 phrases that may sound simple on the surface, but when spoken with sincerity, presence, and quiet strength, they become almost impossible for a woman to forget. 1. I respect you. There's a quiet truth most men only discover later in life. Attraction is not built on charm alone. It is built on how a woman feels in your presence, and nothing shapes that feeling faster than the words you choose at the right moment, said with sincerity and calm conviction. Among all the phrases you could say, few carry as much weight as this simple one: I respect you. Because at a mature stage, women are no longer searching for attention, they are filtering for meaning. They are not impressed by surface level compliments, they are listening for depth, for intention, for emotional intelligence. When you say, I respect you, and you mean it, you are doing something powerful. You are stepping into a rare category of men who understand female psychology on a deeper level. You are signaling that you see her as more than her appearance, more than the role she plays. You see her as a person with values, decisions, struggles, and strength. That is something she does not forget. That is something that lingers long after the conversation ends, because respect creates emotional safety, and emotional safety is where real attraction grows. Not fast, not loud, but steady and lasting. Here is where many men get it wrong. They try to impress, they try to entertain, they try to say the perfect line, but they forget that the most effective psychology tricks are not about performance. They are about presence, about awareness, about saying the right thing when it matters most. This phrase, I respect you, must be used with intention, not casually, not as a filler, but as a reflection of something real you have observed. Women, especially between 35 and 70, have lived enough life to detect what is genuine and what is empty. So do not rush it, do not force it. Wait for the moment when she shares something meaningful. Maybe she talks about a difficult decision she had to make. Maybe she opens up about a challenge at work. Maybe she reveals a personal value she stands by. That is your moment. Instead of giving a shallow response, instead of just nodding or changing the subject, you pause, you look at her, and you say, I respect you for that. Then you let it sit. You let the silence carry the weight of your words. That is how emotional impact is created, not through volume, but through precision. When you do this, something shifts. She feels seen, not in a superficial way, but in a way that connects to her identity. That is where attraction deepens. That is where how to fall in love becomes less about chasing and more about understanding. Because love, especially mature love, is not about excitement alone. It is about trust, about feeling safe to be yourself without judgment. Respect is the gateway to that feeling. Now, understand this clearly. Do not say it if you do not mean it. Do not use it as a tactic. Insincerity breaks trust faster than silence. You must align your words with your observation. Be specific when possible. Instead of just saying, I respect you, say, I respect how you stayed calm in that situation, or I respect the way you stood by your decision even when it was hard. That is how you make the phrase land. That is how you turn simple words into lasting impressions. This is where many men overlook the power of subtlety. They think attraction requires big gestures, dramatic expressions, constant effort. But often, it is the quiet moments, the well placed words, the calm confidence that create the strongest emotional connection. This aligns with the deeper principles of female psychology, where a woman is drawn not just to what you say, but how you make her feel about herself when she is around you. Do you elevate her? Do you acknowledge her strength? Do you recognize her individuality? Or do you reduce her to surface level traits? The difference between those two approaches is the difference between temporary interest and lasting attraction. If you want to understand how to fall in love in a way that is real and grounded, you must start here with respect, not as a strategy, but as a mindset, as a way of seeing people. When you genuinely respect a woman, your behavior changes naturally. Your tone becomes calmer, your listening becomes deeper, your presence becomes more grounded. These are the psychology tricks that are not tricks at all. They are principles. They are habits of thought and action that set you apart without you having to try too hard. Do not underestimate the power of this phrase. Do not rush past it. Use it wisely, use it sincerely, and most importantly, live it. In the end, attraction is not built on what you say once, it is built on what you consistently show. When a woman feels respected by you, not just in words but in actions, she begins to associate you with safety, with stability, with emotional clarity. That is where real connection begins. That is where interest turns into something deeper, something more meaningful, something that lasts beyond the first impression. So remember this: do not chase attention, do not perform for approval. Be present, be aware, be intentional. When the moment is right, say it clearly. I respect you, because simple words, when backed by truth, have the power to stay in her mind long after you are gone. 2. I feel calm around you. There's a quiet truth most men overlook. Attraction is not built on noise, performance, or pressure. It is built on how a woman feels in your presence. And when you say, I feel calm around you, you are not just speaking words. You are creating a moment that lingers in her mind long after you've left the room. Be clear about this. Women, especially those who have lived, loved, and learned between 35 and 70, have already experienced enough chaos. They've seen emotional ups and downs. They've felt intensity that burned fast and disappeared even faster. What they crave now is different. Not excitement for the sake of excitement, not empty charm. They crave peace, real peace, the kind that feels safe, steady, and rare. When you say, I feel calm around you, you are doing something most men fail to do. You are not trying to impress. You are not chasing approval. You are reflecting back the emotional experience she creates. That is powerful. That is what a high value man understands. He knows that to truly attract women, he must communicate from presence, not performance. And calm is one of the strongest signals of masculine energy. Not loud, not forced, just grounded, certain, and still. Picture this moment. You're sitting together after a long day. No rush, no agenda, just conversation that flows naturally. Maybe there's a pause, not awkward, comfortable. You look at her and say, being around you makes everything slow down, in a good way. Simple, direct, real. Don't over-explain it. Don't dress it up. Let it land. Because what you're really telling her is this: you bring me peace in a world that rarely slows down. That message carries weight. That message stays. And here's the deeper layer most men miss. When you express calm, you are also signaling emotional control. You are showing that your inner world is not easily shaken, that you are not reacting to every impulse, that you can hold space. This is exactly what helps you attract women on a deeper level. Because calmness is not just a feeling, it's a foundation. It tells her this man is steady. It tells her this man is safe to open up to. That is what creates connection beyond surface attraction. Don't confuse this with passivity. Calm is not about being quiet all the time. Calm is about being centered. You can laugh, you can lead, you can express desire, but underneath it all, there is control. There is intention. That is masculine energy in its most attractive form. And when a woman feels that, she relaxes, she leans in, she remembers. Now, expand the moment. Let's say she's had a stressful week, work pressure, family expectations, the usual noise of life. You don't jump in to fix everything. You don't overwhelm her with solutions. You stay present. You listen. Then, at the right moment, you say, I feel calm around you, even when everything else feels busy. That hits differently. Because now you're not just describing a moment, you're offering contrast to the chaos she's been carrying. You become the pause she didn't realize she needed. That is how a high value man moves. He doesn't chase attention, he creates emotional experiences. He understands that to truly attract women, he must make them feel something rare. And calm is rare, very rare. But here's the rule: don't fake it, don't say it if it's not real. Women at this stage of life can sense authenticity instantly. If your words don't match your energy, they fall flat. Be honest, be grounded. If you genuinely feel more at ease around her, say it. If you don't force it. That is what separates surface level attraction from something meaningful. Also, don't overuse it. Power comes from timing. Say it once, at the right moment, with the right tone. Let it breathe. Let her sit with it. Let her replay it later when she's alone, because she will. Words like this don't disappear, they echo. And understand this: when you express calm, you are also giving her permission to be herself. No pressure to perform, no need to impress, just presence. That's when real connection begins. That's when walls come down. That's when she starts associating you with something deeper than attraction. She associates you with peace. Be that man, not the loudest, not the flashiest. Be the one who brings stillness into the room. Be the one who doesn't rush. Be the one who speaks less but means more. That is how you naturally attract women without trying too hard. That is how masculine energy works at its highest level: quiet, steady, undeniable. And remember this: in a world full of noise, the man who offers calm becomes unforgettable. Don't underestimate this. Peace is rare, and a man who recognizes it becomes unforgettable. When you tell a woman she brings calm into your world, you're not chasing her. You're honoring something deeper. That is strength. That is presence. That is what sets you apart. If this resonates with you, don't just watch, act. Drop a comment right now. I value peace and I attract it. Like the video, subscribe for more grounded, powerful insight. And remember, a high value man doesn't create chaos, he becomes the calm others never forget. 3. You don't have to impress me. There's a quiet power in knowing when to remove pressure instead of adding more. And one of the most unforgettable phrases you can say to a woman, especially at a mature stage in life, is simple, grounded, and deeply disarming. You don't have to impress me. That is not just a sentence. That is relief. That is space. That is emotional safety in a world where she has spent years, maybe decades, feeling like she had to perform, prove, or perfect herself just to be valued. And when you say those words with calm certainty, not as a tactic, but as a truth, you shift the entire dynamic between you. Because, as Maya Angelou once said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. In that moment, you make her feel accepted without condition, seen without judgment, and that is rare. That is remembered. That is what separates noise from presence, boys from men, confusion from clarity. Understand this clearly. Many women between 35 and 70 have already lived through enough to recognize effort that feels forced, attention that feels transactional, and compliments that feel rehearsed. So, when you remove the need for her to impress you, you are not lowering standards, you are elevating connection. You are saying, without saying it directly, I see you as you are, and that is already enough. And that is where old Stoic wisdom quietly steps in, reminding you that real strength is not in demanding validation, but in offering stability, not in chasing approval, but in embodying calm assurance. Because a man grounded in Stoicism understands that attraction deepens in stillness, not pressure, in presence, not performance. Now listen carefully, because this is where most men get it wrong. They think attraction is built by impressing her, by saying the perfect line, by showing status, by trying harder. But the truth is the opposite. Attraction grows when she no longer feels like she has to try so hard around you, when her guard drops, when her breath slows, when she can simply exist without calculating her next move. And that only happens when you lead with an iron mind, when your energy says, I am not here to judge you. I am here to experience you. And you must mean it, because she will feel the difference instantly. Consider a real life moment. She adjusts her outfit, second guesses her words, maybe laughs a little too carefully, and you sense it, not with anxiety, but with awareness. And instead of ignoring it or adding more pressure, you calmly say, You don't have to try so hard with me. Then you stop. You don't over-explain. You don't chase a reaction. You let the silence breathe, and in that silence, something shifts. She relaxes, she softens, she becomes more real. And that is the moment where connection begins. Not the polished version of her, but the authentic one. And that is the only version worth knowing. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. And if your thoughts are grounded, steady, and free from the need to impress or control, your presence will naturally create that same calm in her. This is Stoicism win in action. This is what it means to carry an iron mind into modern relationships, where everything is fast, loud, and performative. Yet what people crave most is quiet understanding. You must train yourself to recognize that women are not looking for another source of pressure. They already have enough of that from life, from society, from past experiences. What they are drawn to, deeply, instinctively, is a man who offers emotional space. A man who does not rush, does not demand, does not make her feel evaluated, but instead creates an environment where she can simply be. And paradoxically, that is when she gives you her best, her most natural, her most genuine self, not because she has to, but because she wants to. Do not confuse this with passivity. This is not about being indifferent. It is about being intentional. You are choosing to remove unnecessary tension so that something real can grow. And that requires discipline, awareness, and confidence. The kind of confidence that does not need to announce itself because it is felt in every word, every pause, every look. Remember this principle and repeat it until it becomes part of how you move through life. Pressure repels, presence attracts. Pressure creates distance, presence builds connection. Pressure makes her perform, presence allows her to open. And when you consistently embody this, when you operate from old Stoic wisdom, when you act with an iron mind, when you live out Stoicism, win not as a concept, but as a daily practice, you become the man she remembers, not for what you said, but for how effortlessly she could be herself around you. And in a world full of noise, that kind of calm, grounded energy is not just attractive, it is unforgettable. 4. I enjoy listening to you. I enjoy listening to you. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but don't underestimate it. Most men hear words, very few actually listen, and women know the difference instantly. That is where you separate yourself. That is where presence becomes power. When you say, I enjoy listening to you are not filling silence, you are creating connection. You are signaling patience, attention, and emotional awareness. And in the world of modern dating, where distractions are everywhere and conversations are often rushed, this becomes one of the most effective psychology tricks you can use. Not manipulation, not performance, just rare, focused attention. Be the man who slows down. Be the man who listens without interrupting, without trying to fix, without trying to impress. Because when a woman is speaking, she is not just sharing information, she is revealing pieces of her inner world, her thoughts, her emotions, her patterns. This is where female psychology becomes clear. Women are not drawn only to what you say, they are drawn to how you make them feel when they speak. Do you rush her? Do you drift away? Or do you stay grounded, present, engaged? That is the difference. That is how to fall in love, not through grand gestures, but through moments of genuine understanding. When she tells a long story, don't cut her off. Don't redirect the topic back to yourself. Instead, lean in slightly. Maintain calm eye contact. Let your body language say, I'm here. Then reinforce it with words that carry weight. I like the way you tell stories. Keep going. Short, clear, powerful. You are giving her permission to expand, to express, to be heard without judgment. And that creates emotional safety. Emotional safety is rare, and what is rare becomes valuable. This is one of the deepest psychology tricks because it's not about tricks at all. It's about discipline, the discipline to stay present, the discipline to control your urge to speak just to be noticed. You must understand this. Attraction grows in space. When you listen, you create that space. When you pause, you give her room to step forward emotionally. And when she feels that space, she fills it with stories, with laughter, with vulnerability. That is how to fall in love naturally, without forcing anything. Don't try to out-talk her. Don't try to impress her with constant words. Be selective. Be intentional. Let your silence carry meaning, and let your listening carry weight. Because female psychology responds deeply to being understood, not overwhelmed. A woman remembers how she felt when she spoke to you. Did she feel rushed, or did she feel seen? Did she feel like just another conversation, or did she feel like her words mattered? That is the question you must answer every time you interact. And here's the truth most men miss. Listening is not passive, it is active. It requires focus. It requires emotional control. It requires you to put your ego aside. Don't think about what you'll say next while she's talking. Don't wait for your turn. Be fully there. That is where your strength shows. That is where your presence becomes magnetic. These are real psychology tricks, not cheap tactics, but principles rooted in human connection. And when you apply them consistently, something shifts. She begins to relax around you. She opens up faster. She trusts you more. Not because you forced it, but because you earned it. And that trust is the foundation of how to fall in love in a mature, grounded way. Especially for men between 35 and 70, this matters even more. At this stage of life, women are not impressed by surface level charm. They've seen it, they've experienced it. What they crave now is depth, stability, calm presence. A man who listens without needing to prove anything. That is rare. That is powerful. And that is what sets you apart in the landscape of modern dating. So don't overlook this phrase. Use it with intention. Use it when she's sharing something meaningful. Use it when you want to deepen the connection. Say it calmly. Say it sincerely. I enjoy listening to you. Then back it up with your actions. Stay engaged. Ask thoughtful follow up questions. Reflect on what she says. Show her that you're not just hearing, you're understanding. Because understanding is what builds emotional connection, and emotional connection is what leads to lasting attraction. This is the essence of female psychology. This is how to fall in love without pressure. And this is one of the simplest yet most powerful psychology tricks you can master. If this message hits home, don't just watch, act. Be the man who listens when others only wait to speak. Like the video, subscribe for more grounded, powerful insight, and start showing up differently today. Now drop this in the comments to lock it in. I listen to understand, not to respond. 5. You're different in a good way. You're different in a good way. At first glance, it sounds simple, almost too simple. But don't underestimate it. This is not just a compliment. This is a signal that you see her as an individual, not a category. And that is exactly where most men fail. They generalize, they compare, they recycle the same lines. Don't do that. Be precise, be intentional. That is what separates a high value man from the rest. When you say, you're different in a good way, you are not placing her above others in a competitive sense. You are stepping out of the comparison game entirely. You are saying, I notice you. I experience you. I don't need to measure you against anyone else. And that lands deeply because most women, especially between 35 and 70, have already lived through years of being compared, judged, or misunderstood. They've heard compliments that felt empty. They've felt like options in someone else's rotation. So when you come in with calm masculine energy and deliver something honest, grounded, and specific, it stands out immediately. Now, understand this. Don't rush the moment. Timing matters. You must earn the right to say it. Don't say it within the first 5 minutes like a rehearsed line. That is not confidence. That is impatience. Spend time. Observe her. Listen carefully. Notice how she thinks, how she reacts, how she expresses herself. Is she thoughtful? Is she calm? Is she playful in a subtle way? Is there something about her presence that slows things down? Pay attention. A high value man doesn't speak just to fill silence, he speaks with purpose. So when you finally say, you're not like anyone I've met, and I mean that in the best way, it carries weight. It feels real. It feels earned. Let's go deeper. Why does this phrase work so well? Because it touches a core human desire, the need to feel seen. Not admired, not chased, seen. There's a difference. Admiration can be shallow. Attention can be temporary. But being seen, that's personal. That's emotional. That's memorable. And when a woman feels seen by a man who is calm, grounded, and emotionally steady, she naturally leans in. That is how you attract women without forcing anything. You don't chase, you don't impress, you reveal. You reflect back what is already there, but often overlooked. Picture this moment. You've spent an afternoon together, maybe a quiet coffee, maybe a walk, maybe just a long conversation where time slipped away without pressure. She shares stories, not just surface level details, but pieces of her life, her perspective, her humor. And instead of interrupting, instead of trying to top her story with your own, you listen fully, calmly, present. That is masculine energy. Not loud, not overpowering, just steady. And then, at the right moment, you lean back slightly, look at her, not intensely, not performatively, and say, you're different, in a good way. Then pause, let it breathe. Don't over explain. Don't rush to justify it. Silence, when used well, amplifies meaning. That is something you must learn. But here's where many men get it wrong. They say the words, but their energy doesn't match. They say it with nervousness, or they say it too quickly, as if they're hoping for a reaction. Don't do that. Be grounded. Your words must come from a place of certainty, not approval seeking. A high value man does not say things to get validation. He says things because they are true. That is the difference. And women can feel that difference immediately. It's subtle but powerful. If your tone is calm, your body language relaxed, your presence steady, then your words land. If not, they fade. Also, understand this: different must never feel like pressure. You are not putting her on a pedestal. You are not saying she has to live up to something. You are simply acknowledging what you perceive. That is it. Keep it clean, keep it honest. When done right, this phrase gives her space to be herself even more. It tells her she doesn't have to perform or fit into a mold, and that is incredibly attractive. Because at this stage in life, people are tired of pretending. They value authenticity. They respect emotional clarity. So be that man. Be the one who creates that space naturally. Let's break it down even further. This phrase works because it combines curiosity and appreciation. You're not claiming to fully understand her. You're not labeling her. You're simply recognizing that there is something about her that stands out to you. That invites intrigue. It invites connection. It opens a door without forcing it open. And that is exactly how you build attraction with maturity, not through pressure, not through performance, but through presence. And here's something important: don't overuse it. This is not a line you repeat to every woman you meet. That destroys its value. A high value man is selective, not just in who he chooses, but in what he says. If you say this to everyone, it becomes meaningless. But when you say it rarely, and only when you truly feel it, it becomes powerful. It becomes memorable. That is how you attract women who are aligned with you, not just anyone who responds to attention. Now ask yourself, are you actually paying enough attention to notice what makes someone different? Or are you moving too fast, too distracted, too focused on outcome? Slow down. That is your advantage. In a world full of noise and speed, the man who slows down stands out. The man who listens stands out. The man who speaks less but means more, that is the man who creates real connection. So don't rush. Don't perform. Be present. Observe. Feel the moment. And when it's right, say it simply. You're different. In a good way. Then let your silence carry the rest. That is masculine energy. That is emotional intelligence. And that is how a high value man builds something that lasts. 6. I trust you. I trust you. That is not a casual phrase. That is a decision. That is a statement of weight. In a world where people hesitate, where they guard themselves, where they measure every word and every risk, saying, I trust you, cuts through the noise like something rare, something real, something unforgettable. You must understand this. Trust is not just a compliment, it is an offering. It tells her she is not just seen, but chosen, not just heard, but valued. And at a mature stage in life, especially between 35 and 70, this matters more than charm, more than surface level attraction, more than rehearsed lines. People have lived. They have been disappointed. They have learned to recognize what is shallow and what is solid. So when you say, I trust you, and you mean it, you are speaking a language that goes deeper than words. As Ernest Hemingway once said, the best way to find out if you can trust somebody is to trust them. That is the paradox. Trust creates trust. You give it, and in doing so, you invite it back. That is how bonds are formed. That is how connections become unshakable. Now listen carefully. Don't throw this phrase around carelessly. Don't use it to impress. Don't use it too early. Be intentional. Be precise. Because when you say it at the right moment, after sharing something personal, after opening a part of your life that is not shown to everyone, you create a moment she will remember. You are not just speaking, you are revealing. You are saying, you are different. You have earned access to something real, and that changes everything. In modern life, where conversations are fast, attention is divided, and connections often feel temporary, this kind of depth stands out. It slows things down. It creates gravity. It makes her feel that this is not just another interaction. This is something meaningful, something worth holding on to. Be the man who understands the weight of words. Be the man who doesn't speak to fill silence, but speaks to create meaning. This is old Stoic wisdom. This is Stoicism when in action. Because a man with an iron mind does not chase approval, he does not over explain, he does not seek to impress. He chooses his words carefully, and when he speaks, people listen. When you say, I trust you, you are not lowering your guard blindly. You are demonstrating confidence. You are showing that you are strong enough to open up and wise enough to choose who you open up to. That balance, strength and vulnerability, is what creates respect. And respect is what sustains attraction over time. Look at your life. Look at the way people communicate today. Quick messages, surface level conversations, endless distractions. Most people never go beyond the obvious. So when you step in with something deeper, something intentional, something grounded in truth, you separate yourself immediately. You become memorable, not because you are louder, not because you are more impressive, but because you are real. And real is rare. Real is powerful. Real is what people remember long after the conversation ends. You must also understand this. Trust is not just spoken, it must be backed by action. Your words open the door. Your behavior keeps it open. If you say, I trust you, then act in a way that contradicts it, the impact disappears. But if your actions align with your words, if you remain consistent, calm, and grounded, then that simple phrase becomes a foundation. It becomes something she can rely on, something she can believe in. And belief is the beginning of something lasting. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That is your instruction. Don't talk about trust endlessly. Don't analyze it to death. Live it, show it, embody it. Because when your words and your actions match, you create a presence that people feel. And that presence is what draws people in naturally, without effort, without force. Repeat this idea until it becomes part of you. Trust creates connection. Connection creates memory. Memory creates attachment. And attachment, when built on something real, becomes something lasting. This is not about manipulation. This is about understanding human nature. People remember how you make them feel. And when you make someone feel trusted, respected, and valued, that feeling stays. It lingers. It grows. So be intentional. Don't rush. Don't overuse words. Say less, but mean more. When the moment is right, when the connection has depth, when the conversation has meaning, look her in the eye and say it simply. I trust you. No need to decorate it. No need to explain it. Let the weight of the words do the work. Let the silence after carry the meaning. That is power. That is control. That is an iron mind in motion. And remember, this is not just about relationships. This is about how you live your life. This is about becoming a man who operates with clarity, with intention, with quiet confidence. This is old Stoic wisdom. This is Stoicism win. This is how you build not just attraction, but respect. Not just moments, but meaning. Not just connections, but something that lasts. If you understand the power of trust, don't just watch, act. Be the man who speaks it with intention, who gives it with strength, and who builds something real because of it. Trust is rare. Trust is remembered. Trust is what sets you apart. So if you're ready to lead with that kind of presence, drop this in the comments right now. I build trust and I create lasting bonds. 7. You make me want to be better. You make me want to be better. Don't underestimate the weight of those words. Don't say them lightly. Say them when you feel the shift inside you, when something about her presence quietly challenges you to rise, to refine, to become more intentional with your life. That is what makes this line unforgettable. It is not just a compliment directed at her, it is a mirror reflecting your own evolution. Be clear about this. Women don't remember empty praise, they remember impact. They remember how they made a man think differently, act differently, live differently. When you say, knowing you makes me think more about how I live in a better way, you are tapping directly into female psychology because you are showing her that her presence has meaning, that it creates change, that it matters beyond surface level attraction. This is one of those rare psychology tricks that goes deeper than charm. It speaks to purpose. And purpose is what people hold on to. Most men try to impress by listing achievements, by proving status, by showing what they already are. That is predictable. That is common. But when you say she makes you want to grow, you are doing something far more powerful. You are inviting her into your future, into your process, into your becoming. That is how to fall in love in a way that feels real, grounded, and lasting. Don't rush it. Don't fake it. Be the man who recognizes growth when it happens and has the courage to say it out loud. Be the man who understands that attraction is not just about desire, it is about direction. When a woman feels that she inspires you to aim higher, to think deeper, to act with more discipline, she begins to associate you with meaning, not just emotion. That is a different level of connection. That is the difference between being liked and being remembered. You must understand this clearly. People don't fall in love with perfection, they fall in love with progress they can feel. When you express that she moves you toward becoming better, you are aligning yourself with one of the deepest principles of female psychology, the desire to matter in a man's journey, not just in his moment. And here is where most men fail. They either stay silent or they speak in cliches that carry no weight. Don't do that. Be specific. Be intentional. Say it in a way that reflects real awareness. For example, after a meaningful conversation, you might pause and say, talking to you makes me rethink how I spend my time. I want to do better with it. That lands. That resonates. That stays. Because now she is not just hearing admiration, she is witnessing transformation. And transformation is one of the strongest emotional anchors in how to fall in love. Another layer to understand is this. When you say she makes you want to be better, you are also signaling self respect. You are not placing her above you. You are not diminishing yourself. You are showing that you are a man in motion, a man who grows, a man who chooses to evolve. That balance is essential. Don't lose yourself trying to impress her. Don't exaggerate. Be grounded. Be honest. That is what makes these psychology tricks effective. They are rooted in truth, not performance. And remember, attraction at this stage of life, especially for men between 35 and 70, is not about games. It is about depth. It is about clarity. It is about emotional intelligence. Women at this level have seen enough surface level charm to recognize when something is different. So when you speak, speak with intention, speak with awareness, speak with the understanding that your words are not just sounds, they are signals. Signals of who you are, where you are going, and how she fits into that direction. You must also realize that this statement creates a subtle but powerful dynamic. It places both of you on a path of growth. It is no longer just about attraction, it becomes about shared elevation. That is rare. That is memorable. That is what creates lasting impressions. So don't hold back when you genuinely feel it. Don't dilute it with unnecessary words. Keep it simple. Keep it sharp. You make me want to be better. That is enough. That is strong. That is impactful. And in the context of female psychology, it touches something deeper, the desire to inspire, to influence, to be part of something meaningful. When a woman feels that, she doesn't forget it, because now she is not just experiencing you, she is experiencing the version of you that is becoming stronger because of her presence. And that is one of the most powerful emotional connections you can create. 8. I'm not here to play games. I'm not here to play games. That line lands differently when it comes from a man who has lived, learned, and no longer has the patience for confusion dressed up as romance. At this stage in life, time is not just valuable, it is sacred. You've spent decades building, losing, rebuilding. You've seen what works and what quietly falls apart. So when you say, I'm not here to play games, don't say it with frustration. Don't say it like a complaint. Be calm, be grounded. That is what gives the sentence its weight. That is what separates a man who reacts from a man who leads. A high value man understands that clarity is not pressure, it is a gift. It tells her where you stand without noise, without manipulation, without guessing. And here's the truth: women who are emotionally mature don't run from clarity, they are drawn to it. Because clarity feels safe, it feels rare. It feels like masculine energy that is steady, not chaotic. Don't confuse this with being rigid or demanding. That is not the point. The point is intention. When you say, I'm not interested in something unclear, I want something real, you are not closing doors. You are opening the right ones. You are signaling that your time, your energy, your presence have value. And that alone begins to attract women who are aligned with that same mindset. Think about it. Most people drift. They text without direction, they date without purpose, they stay in situations that feel uncertain, hoping clarity will magically appear. You must not be that man. You must be the one who defines the tone early. Not aggressively, not emotionally, but firmly, quietly. That is power. A man who carries masculine energy does not chase confusion. He removes himself from it. He does not argue for attention. He offers presence. And if it's not valued, he walks away with dignity intact. That is what makes this phrase so unforgettable. It is not just the words, it is the energy behind them. When a woman hears this from a man who is calm, centered, and self assured, she feels something deeper than attraction. She feels respect. And respect is the foundation of any connection that lasts. Now, let's go deeper. Why does this work so well? Because it cuts through noise. In a world where people hide behind mixed signals and half truths, directness feels refreshing. It stands out. It creates emotional clarity. And emotional clarity creates emotional safety. When she knows you are not playing games, she doesn't have to guess your intentions. She doesn't have to overanalyze your silence. She doesn't have to question your consistency. That is what allows her to relax. And when a woman feels relaxed, she opens up. When she opens up, connection becomes real. But here's the key: don't just say it, live it. Words without alignment are empty. If you say you're not here to play games, then don't engage in behavior that suggests otherwise. Don't send mixed signals. Don't disappear and reappear without explanation. Don't entertain situations that you already know don't meet your standards. Be consistent, be clear, be disciplined. That is how a high value man builds trust without needing to prove anything. And trust, once established, becomes the strongest force in attraction. There's also a quiet confidence in this approach that cannot be faked. You are not trying to impress. You are not trying to convince. You are simply stating your truth. That is what makes it powerful. That is what makes it memorable. Because most men think attraction is about saying the right lines, using the right techniques, playing the right psychological tricks. But real attraction, lasting attraction, comes from emotional stability, from knowing who you are, from knowing what you want, from refusing to settle for less than that. And when you operate from that place, you naturally attract women who respect that energy. Let's be honest. At this stage in life, you are not looking for endless games. You are not interested in proving your worth through chasing. You have already done enough of that. Now, it's about alignment. It's about peace. It's about building something that feels real, not forced. So when you say, I'm not here to play games, you are setting a boundary without hostility. You are protecting your time without apology. You are choosing depth over distraction. That is maturity. That is strength. And here's something important. This mindset doesn't just attract women, it filters them. It naturally removes those who are not ready for something real. And that is a good thing. Don't fear that. Don't try to hold on to every opportunity. Be selective. Be intentional. Because the right woman will not be intimidated by your clarity. She will be relieved by it. She will recognize it as a sign of emotional strength, and she will meet you there. So remember this. Don't play games. Don't tolerate games. Don't reward inconsistency. Be the man who brings calm into chaos. Be the man who brings direction into uncertainty. That is masculine energy at its finest. And when you embody that, you don't need to chase attraction. It comes to you naturally. Because people are drawn to certainty. They are drawn to calm strength. They are drawn to a high value man who knows his path and walks it without hesitation. Say the words if they are true for you, but more importantly, become the man those words represent. Because in the end, it's not the sentence she remembers, it's how you made her feel when you said it. All right, my friend, as we come to the end of this message, let's keep it simple and real. In the end, it's not just about the words you say, it's about the energy you carry behind them. A mature man doesn't talk too much, he doesn't chase attention, but every word he chooses has meaning, has intention, has weight. And that's what people remember. Understand this clearly. A woman may forget your exact sentences, but she will never forget how you made her feel in your presence. That is your true power. Not noise, not tricks, presence. Calm, confidence, sincerity. So here's my honest advice to you. Don't try to impress. Don't try to say the perfect thing. Be grounded. Be real. Speak only when it matters. And when you do, mean it. That is how you build trust. That is how you create something deep, something lasting. If this message resonated with you, I truly appreciate you being here. Take a second to support the channel. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone who understands the value of real connection. And before you go, drop this in the comments. I speak with purpose. I connect with truth. Stay steady, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.